So it's been
Nice.
amazing.
In Canada or where?
In Canada, yeah, yeah, yeah. And just went snowboarding yesterday all day.
Hmm, nice. How
What
was
about you? Where are
Business
you?
Mastery?
It was huge. Lots of breakthroughs, lots
Oh,
of experiences, lots of magic have happened. Just really, really beautiful to expand and extend the family.
mm,
Pe- People come from
nice.
all over. Where are you?
I'm in Utah right now
And how's Utah?
until April-ish. It's good. I come out to ski, and since I've been out here for what, 3 weeks, a lot of people have been coming out, so I haven't been spending too much time job searching like I wanted to because I'm busy hanging out with my friends and enjoying life and having fun.
Well, maybe that's part of your job or your mission is maybe to focus on family and friends. I think that most of us forget that blissful part of our experience here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I've done that now that I've been off work for 18 months. It's funny, I had a Akashic record reading, I don't know, a week or two ago, and when we were talking about work, she said that the records want to remind me of basically to be patient and to not worry about finding a job, that it'll happen, and maybe give myself, like 3 more months. I was just laughing. I said, can you just remind the records that I've already been off for 18 months. She's like, yeah, they already know that. She was laughing. It's not like it's only been a month, but I'm eager to go back. Like, I'm ready to go back. I wouldn't have been able to do that with my friends if I was working, probably, well, for sure, because I was spending all day long with them. So, but now everybody's gone. My roommate's gone for 3 weeks. My normal friends who live here that I would normally ski with, they're all away on vacations. So I'm now truly by myself for 3 weeks. So, like, okay, there's a purpose to this point of the season as well.
Hmm. Well, winter is our season, right?
Yeah.
So we get to create and find solutions. And uh, I guess, you're always into IT and you've always been into IT, pardon me. Um, and I keep asking you like what specifically would light you up, and maybe focusing on things that would light you up will help you. Maybe there's a
Mm.
way or somehow I can connect you to something and something that's happening in this beautiful world that might fall in alignment with your greater mission or a bigger purpose.
Yeah, I love it's definitely becoming clearer in the IT space that I would love and excite me would be around AI or energy, which is kind of fascinating about the energy part because I don't have any energy background. I know you do. And I don't have any energy background, but for some reason it just really interests me. And
So
it's
energy, are you talking? Sorry, my apologies. I didn't mean to
oh,
interrupt. My
oh, go
apologies.
ahead.
So energy, when you say energy, tell me more specifically if you don't mind.
Um, just companies that are in the energy space and are open to alternative, like not the traditional way we've been doing energy, or not, and are more open to being different and looking at other alternatives.
Hmm.
There's a company in Wisconsin that they used to do, like, well, they still do. They used to do a lot of generator stuff, but now they seem to be expanding more, looking at other options in that space. So I like that. I like that. Um, More forward thinking, more bigger picture. And maybe all the energy companies do that. I don't know. I don't know anything about the industry. I only know from talking to recruiters, something like one of the recruiters that I'm friends with, they do a lot in the
Hmm.
space of energy in the Wisconsin area. And it seems those companies tend to be more open-minded.
Hmm.
So I'm not as specific in anything, which is helpful and not helpful. Because I don't
So
have the specific vision, it's kind of more broad.
IT and AI, uh, in energy, or IT or AI and energy in the energy sector, and um, what it have does it have to be in the US, or are you open to Canada?
I'm open to, they could be anywhere since I have global
Hmm.
experience. I want to work remote.
Perfect. So it
Um,
could be anywhere in the
so
world.
as long as I'm working, it could be anywhere in the world. I would actually prefer to work for a company that's not just US only because I have, 21 years of global experience and I love that part of my job. I loved being able to work with people outside of the
Mhm.
US. I primarily did 21 years. So I like that.
Do you want to? What's up, Mart? How are you, brother? Welcome. Good to see you, brother. Do you want to just share quickly some of your global experience so that anybody that rewatches this kind of has a little bit more clarity?
Oh, sure. Um, so I was in IT and I was running large programs. And at the start of those 21 years, I was doing more application. I was more in the application development space. The last 10 years
Hmm.
has been in the infrastructure space. So think more around cloud data centers, replacing networks or hosting equipment, um, or maybe like refreshing data centers or moving things from data centers into the cloud or to more modern data centers. And my teams for any of those projects, whether it was in the app dev space or in infrastructure, my teams would be all over the world. And, anywhere from Latin America to Canada to Europe, New Zealand, Australia, like, Bratislava, literally all over the world. And sometimes my project managers would be in those countries. Most times my development teams were in those countries. So it's obviously, being understand cultural differences, time zone differences, and bringing them all together to the common goal. Leadership, the past 5 years, my leadership was all in Europe, all in
Hmm.
Ireland. So sometimes, having to travel there, sometimes not. I think the biggest thing with the globalization is, or the global programs, is understanding the cultural differences. Working with somebody from India, like a big thing that stands out to me is, when working with people from India, two things could happen. There it still does exist that it's not as common. I don't see it as much. I certainly saw it like 20 years ago, where men could sometimes have a hard time working for a female, um, just because of their culture and how they grew up. And then, especially with And then there's different, sects within India where they want to please, they don't want to say no. So especially when you're driving to dates and you're asking them, how long is it going to take? Are you going to be able to make this date? And they're saying yes, when really they do not think that's possible, but yet they don't want to say no. So it's really being curious. I think it's changing leadership style, and being curious and asking different questions to get you to the same answer. And, being able to understand. It took me a while to understand that about their culture. So, missing dates a couple of times and not understanding why when you're asking somebody and they're saying, yes, I'm going to meet it, and then they keep missing a date. It's like, why is this happening? And it's not the obvious of they're screwing off or whatever. It's just that they never bought into it in the beginning. So it goes back to, I think, that leadership of ensuring you have true collaboration, you're doing true collaboration, and everybody's bought into what you're trying to achieve, and you're hearing everybody and not making the assumptions. And then once 2020 happened, then that just I think changed the global working in a global environment.
That's beautiful. I would love to actually get your insight on some of JJ's experience because I think and Mark's because I think there is a lot of collaborative experience that can come naturally together here based off of IT and AI and energy infrastructure, especially based off of thoughts and ideas. And then outside of this, I can also introduce you to some great people that are in AI that definitely would love your insight. Gigi, do you want to share a little bit about yourself in terms of Bitcoin and your wisdom around that type of economic insight and what your goals are with regards to infrastructure and redeveloping an economic paradigm? I'm curious, maybe Christine might value a lot of that wisdom that you bring, brother.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Eric and team. Good to see you all. I was not there from the beginning, so I was not following the entire conversation. However, my connection to Bitcoin is that I see Bitcoin as part of the future of individual independency and freedom for everybody, because it works without the traditional banking system so far. And so therefore, I see for the future, it might be for one or the other more important to be some kind of independent from traditional systems, infrastructures, and so on. And I am working on Bitcoin education currently, especially Bitcoin education for beginners. That could be individuals, could be companies or businesses, could also be families who are interested in accumulating or using Bitcoin for one or the other use case. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing, my plans for the future. My background is actually IT. I was an IT, or I am still an IT consultant. I can still do IT consulting and project management for the past 10 years as a freelancer, and for the past, I would say, more than 20 years in the industry. Yeah, that's my part, and I'm happy to go into conversation about Bitcoin, about our monetary system, about our how can we, how do I say, gain freedom from the current, what we say, traditional finance systems, right? We had a very good experience, Eric, together, you and me. That was amazing experience. After having trouble with the banking system, we have chosen a different way, and this was working within a couple of minutes. Absolutely amazing, and that's, I think, I believe that is the future for many use cases. Right? Thank you for listening.
I agree. I think that the Bitcoin ecosystem is part of a new IT infrastructure, and also energy can be connected to that. So, Martin and I, we talked a lot about how energy can connect that back to creating electricity, to then mining Bitcoin. And Mart, maybe you can share some of your insight based off of your engineering background. Just what kind of resonates with you with in terms of IT, Bitcoin, and energy, and if that you see that coming together at all, or your perspectives. I think that'd be really valuable from your insight, or if you have any questions for Christine, because I think what I'm hearing, Christine and JJ, is that there's a way that perhaps a great conversation could come to life from both of your backgrounds for a bit broader picture in terms of IT and infrastructure, and then Mart also because just to hear him out in terms of some of his wisdom, he has lots. Although we've also had a conversation before about it, so I'd just love to hear it from your perspective, Mart, your thoughts and ideas based off of electricity, energy, power generation, or any other insight that you feel like sharing.
Well, this part would also be a bit about what do we think the future will hold? What will be the future? And what we were discussing thus far has mostly to do a bit with the infrastructure, whether it be digital infrastructure or the physical infrastructure. That is just going to cost some things to make happen, whatever. That's manageable. That's very manageable to do. But with that comes another thing that I think is inevitable and will be the challenge for the rest of the century is where does our energy come from? How do we get it? Do we produce enough? And do we distribute it in a way that everybody can make use of it? With the rise, especially with the rise of AI, that will consume lots of energy. It's going to be amazing, but it will consume energy. The need for it will still remain very high, and how we will supply that energy, that's the big question. The one thing I'm personally still hoping on is I believe, or what's it called again? I believe the correct word, fusion. Once fusion is operational, but that still will take minimum couple of years. Like they always say, it will minimally take so many years. A couple of years later, it's still the same number, but it's like the one breakthrough away. And what I see is like the one thing that is still not really answered, or what also could be the potential cause for a crisis to come, is people want energy and don't have it, or how do we? That question is still not fully answered yet. And what I would add to this, in a more bigger scope, is this is more about just energy infrastructure, physical infrastructure. What I think our group it can be part of is not the physical or digital infrastructure, but the infrastructure of our minds, of our souls, and how we interact with each other, how we operate from person to person.
And everything that happens from the inside will start to integrate on the outside, because fundamentally it's an internal game. And this is some of the wisdom that we always talk about, is this discovery of what that internal infrastructure looks like, right? Like Tony talks about, business is a spiritual game, life is sacred. These are the kind of the optics that we can measure based off of what our actions are in the external world. So I think that the experience of our group or our community, our family, our chosen families, and the ways that we continue to show up in a very grounded perspective, because we're not flying in the esoteric world. We're very much here now, focusing on real world solutions. And in fact, like today, or sorry, yesterday, last night, I was observing that they're seeking to lift the coal bans in Alberta, like, so to start searching for coal again. And it's like, are we going back, 5 decades? Like, what's going on here? So these are some of the things that are not making sense based off of what we can do with clean energy and how we can start to actually create even more abundance based off of not polluting the world. So Christine, there's a lot of opportunity here in the community to build really meaningful conversations on ways that we are acting locally and thinking globally. And as a result, I encourage, I'm curious if you have any questions for Mart or JJ for them to clarify any perspectives that you may have, or some curiosities to discover even more about them.
Yeah, I would love to have a slight conversation with each of you. The Bitcoin definitely interests me, even though I don't know much about it. Even same with energy. Like, I'm really just curious in those spaces. And I'm fascinated when I observe myself, because in the past I've, wanted to stay in the spaces where I feel really comfortable. And, you're just kind of rinse repeating, just different customers, but different customers, yet similar, concepts of people are the ones changing. And now I'm more wanting to expand into these spaces where I feel are more in the future and really what our world needs. And not a lot of people are stepping into. So Bitcoin, I think, is really exciting. And it's, when I say Bitcoin, it's more, I think, around the IT space, since that is my knowledge, is, how can I bring value into that space? Same with the energy. It's just more, how can I bring my value into it to help it and to propel it forward? So I'd love to have more conversations with you both, JJ and Mart. What you said makes sense to me and it resonates with me completely. So I don't really have any questions for clarification. It'd be more to kind of dive a little bit deeper and to get a little bit better of an understanding.
Do you want to share any deeper? Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, if I may add a thought that just came to me right now regarding energy and what you said, Eric, that they are looking for again for coal, I guess, as a source of energy. My belief is that energy in the future and the energy we use should be sustainable. It should be sustainable, it should be renewable. And because it's the same as with our internal energy, right? Our internal energy we have in ourselves is also it must be sustainable. We have to take care of our internal energy, and we can utilize this energy within us for our own growth. And then at the same time, it has to be sustainable. It doesn't make sense that we grow in a way or in a way that we run into burnouts, right? That's maybe some of you have already experienced that, but then that's my opinion, that right, we have our internal energy, and that we take care of that in a sustainable way, and that's also what we have to do out there in the world. Energy in the future must be sustainable and not polluting the environment or be in some kind bad for nature, for animals, for other people, right? That's my opinion. And then I guess with AI, my guess is that the energy consumption, especially, or the energy need, the need for electricity, will will grow exponentially with AI. I guess not so much with Bitcoin. Bitcoin probably is more like linear because it's more predictable for energy consumption, and AI, my guess is we're now shifting from a mindset of saving energy, like especially the environment where I come from, or the region where I come from. We save energy, we switch off the lights, and in the future there will be no energy saving when I switch off the light, because the energy I save by switching off the light would go to AI computing. So we are shifting from a energy saving mindset into a max energy, whatever is possible mindset. People are not so much aware of that, but since the energy consumption of AI would be exponentially, might that be the case. And also in addition to that, I would add to let's use AI in a meaningful way, not for everything, right? Like writing a poem, do it yourself with your imagination, with your brain, with your wisdom you have. Don't use AI for writing a poem, for example. That would be just one thing. But I would love to have AI to clean my kitchen and do my laundry. That would be something useful for me. But everything that is inside my brain and I can express my personality and my wisdom for life, I don't need AI for that one. That would be my part for that. Thank you.
I really love that. I believe that it allows us, like Dan Martell said, just tap into more of our creativity.
I love the analogy you gave. Right, be smart about it. I love the analogy you gave around the energy and the internal and just being sustainable, and then paying attention to the internal energy of within ourselves and how that can correlate to the whole energy industry. I like that analogy. That was a good way to look at it and express it. Thank you for that.
What's up, guys? So long time ago, no see.
It's good to see you, Jacob. How are you?
I can say I, but that's for copywriting. Can you
Sorry,
guys
we
hear me?
can't hear you, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gina doesn't hear you, but she's super happy anyway. Yeah. You were talking about AI, right? AI?
AI, energy, IT, infrastructure,
Oh,
how we can integrate all of them together.
that sounds really good.
Sorry?
Yeah, I think that sounds really good. I think AI is super interesting for the future.
Are you using it in anything that you're utilizing in your space?
Yeah, for all the Facebook ads, I like to use AI. And for A/B testing, I think AI is really good.
Mm.
But I think I could maybe do more with AI, but yeah, there's no buts. I could do more with AI.
There's no buts, exactly. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. Gita's reminded me yesterday. How have
Yeah,
you guys been?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking. It's good to see you again. I haven't seen you for quite some time, so it's nice to welcome you both back.
Thank you so much. We've been working a lot, but we've noticed yesterday, like when we're not on these calls, it's much easier to get in our heads, right?
Mm.
And
Well,
that's
then maybe keep coming back.
Yeah, we will. I'm gonna rearrange my schedule so we can make it in time. I'm really like
Beautiful.
making it a priority. How was business mastery?
Well, maybe JJ or Brenda can share about how it was. It'd be nice to hear from their perspective so that they can share with you their insight.
Yes, please.
Brenda, are you here? I know you're driving, so I don't want to interrupt you. I know it's peaceful.
Hi.
Oh, you're back. Amazing.
Yeah, when I'm on my phone, I'm always trying to find where's the mute button? Where's the
Do you want to share how your experience was at Business Mastery with Jacob? So maybe
Oh yes, yes, absolutely. It was amazing. I think the thing is, you've got two parts to it. You've got the actual Tony Robbins business mastery, that whole event, all the teachings, and then you have the group, like the family that's there. So, those two things, like when you put them together, are freaking amazing because I think what was really powerful for me, even though I missed a little bit of the last day, but the integration that we did on the last 2 days was really powerful because you could take all of the stuff from business mastery, which can be overwhelming because there's like so much information, and kind of whittle it down to, hey, as a community, what do we want to do? And I think Ross, he's not here, but the way his brain works, anyway, he was able to, and it was probably more than Ross's. I missed part of it, so I don't know who actually put it together. But let's just say the team put this together, where we had all these sort of divisions. You had the AI, you had the Bitcoin, you had the real estate, you had the family values and family. Maybe the values isn't the right word, but we talked about. One of the things I got out of it that was as amazing is really how, I think we called it Light Home. And it was really, what is it that you want as far as your home, as far as your family? What kind of values is not the right word. Help me, guys, with what the
principles.
principles. Yeah. So we were coming up with all these principles, and they were freaking amazing. And that was just kind of one part of this idea of community, how we can work, because we're all have expertise in different areas. Some people are really good at AI, real estate, vision. We talked about the communities we'd like to, like a healing center or community living. Anyway, and they were all kind of sort of broken down. And I thought that was like, for me, it really helped me kind of figure out, well, what is it that I really want to do moving forward? Where do I want to put my energies? Do I want to put it in AI? Yeah, well, I can use a piece of AI for sure in my business. Bitcoin, yeah, absolutely. I believe that's the way of the future. I mean, they all sort of have a piece in how you want to see your life moving forward. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this exactly. I'm just trying to feel that last day when we were putting all those thoughts together. And when you are with, I mean, it's almost better than being at business mastery, because when you're at business mastery, yeah, sure, you're working with other people, but and you don't exactly know like where they're coming from. You don't know them. Whereas when you're with this family of like-minded people, and money isn't the highest priority, which is not my highest priority. Like I'm in a crypto group also. Like I was taking a crypto course before this, Bitcoin crypto, but it's so much based on money that I kind of, hey, listen, I will still tap into that group. But because my motivation right now is not money, it's really how I can serve better. And I know the money will come anyway. I'm not concerned about that part of it. And so with business mastery, it was the combination of those two things. Just being with the family that you feel so supported, that you feel like so loved and connected to. And we had a sound bath, and then we were, doing breathing and all those things that it's all part of business. It's like Eric said, business is a spiritual experience. And when you see it that way, everything changes. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to work hard, right? Which was my mantra for like 20 or 30 years. Oh, Brenda, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. You got to be in there. You got to be doing that, like I love that, the change that I've made, that I do not have that in my psyche anymore. Even though I'm still working, but it's just, that's not what's driving me to work. I'm, and I think business mastery just, it brings everything together. And I'm serious. The most powerful part is being with, it's proximity is power. It's like Tony says. And that's what it was all about. It's who you're surrounding yourself with. I mean, everyone was seriously empowered. Everyone. There was 17-year-old and a 21-year-old. They freaking came every day and stayed till the end. Their lives will totally be changed forever, I believe. Just by them attending and putting in the effort, because 17-year-old, that's not necessarily something a lot of 17-year-olds would do. But and we gave him good feedback, and they actually gave us good feedback too, because you've got the youth that come with a totally different kind of energy, and we can learn from them. So yeah, I really found that whole experience, oh, just empowering and beautiful and loving and like so many good things. And of course we learned, one of the things, just simple things. Okay, just if I want to incorporate more AI into my business, I can just practice. I can't remember who was it, Dan Martell? I can't remember who it was. Just said,
Yep, then
just spin, have a coffee, get on Chat GPT and do some practicing. Like simple little things like that. They weren't like mind blowing. It's kind of, yeah, I could incorporate that into my business right now. Right. So we all get something different. There's some things like the bookkeeping. I do enough bookkeeping. I don't need to hear about that again. It's a good reminder, but Ron did a really good recap of balance sheet, income statement, and it took him 5 minutes, right? So there's some things, okay, I don't need to hear that, and that's okay. You take what you need and want, and it doesn't have to be everything, because it can be overwhelming, because there's so many things that you can learn in 5 days, and they're not all practical to implement. So I feel like if I have 3, 4 things I can do, awesome.
it's amazing.
But yeah,
Go ahead,
I
Mark.
loved it.
To add to that, Brenda, you don't need to implement everything yourself, but it's good to
Yeah.
understand what you're delegating to others, so you
Yes.
know what you're not doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, Mart. Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is, it was Kanda, my assistant, was there. And, she is like, she's in the same world. So she just wants to serve and learn and get better. I mean, I feel so blessed that she could be there and she could take on some of those things herself. So yeah, Mart, good point.
This is something super important to remember, right? We're here to own ourselves, and we don't need to operate. And that's the bliss, I believe, that so much of us are discovering is it's not about the how, it's always about the who. And JJ, I'm
Mhm.
curious to hear your perspectives as well, just so Jacob can have a little insight from you as well. I think it would be valuable.
So yes, I'm happy to share my experience for this business mastery group we had in Edmonton. For me, it was a very um, amazing experience, I must say, right? It was way more than just business mastery. We were a group of friends. Some of us became friends during these couple of days. For example, me, I didn't know all of them, all of the group. And again, it was much more than just business mastery. Even the business mastery itself, the 4 days or 5 days with the online training, was amazing because we had so much interaction with each other and exchange of ideas. And within the group, everybody has different experience in life, different background that would then add to the whole intelligence of the group, right? It's amazing, and I think it was even better. It was even better than being um, at home just by myself and do the business mastery online, and even better than being on site at business mastery, because being with friends and like-minded people, it's just amazing, right? Um, then besides business mastery, I found it amazing how the group dynamics worked out with there was always enough food. There was always very healthy food. We did some exercises. We did breath work. We did had long and very deep conversations. We had breakthrough moments, one after the other for everybody. So this is much more than just business mastery. Business mastery was, I guess, was an excuse to go there, and it was very valuable. And then all the other moments that happened, that we were together, that were at least as valuable as the business mastery seminar itself. Um, for me, amazing to see very different personalities, some even the opposite of the other one. And yet we somehow have the same mindset. We share the same values. We share the same mindset. Um, and that was amazing to see. Amazing to see that some people who are maybe a little bit overweight are very best buddies with the best bodybuilder there, right? It's like very amazing, and I think that's something very unique. My experience is that you don't get that kind of a deep relationship, um, like with your coworkers or even within your family, right? If or your circle of how do I say um, uh, friends, the broader circle of your friends. You don't go into that deep depth that we went in these couple of days. Very amazing. Also, everybody was engaged in not only the business master, but also in the well-being of the entire group. Um, Everybody was interested that all the others um, are being taken care of, right? Nobody was left behind. Um, Maybe for some it felt in the beginning, but then they realized after a couple of days, hey, this is a journey I'm on, and it's not that I'm left behind. It's that they want me to follow up on their path and have these breakthroughs um, uh, during these days. So for me, it was an amazing experience. In the beginning, I didn't know where I go, so now I know where I went. And anytime I recommend, anytime in the future, any event, might it be the upcoming, I think there is an event in Brazil, there is one in Ibiza coming up, I guess. Eric, I might tell something that is not out there yet, but anyway, I do some advertising for you now on this channel. I think it's amazing and absolutely valuable time you spent with the group. Thank you so much again, Eric, for organizing everything.
Thank you, brother. We actually decided as a group that it would be really valuable to do UPW, not in Ibiza, but in Edmonton. So the next Edmonton event is going to be the UPW in March. And I invite those of you, Jacob, Christine, to come and spend it with us, and then come for 2 days integration, because we were originally thinking Ibiza. However, I find that all of our team, Brenda's there, Scotty, Ross is now staying there. And I just find that the more of us we start keeping that groundedness and focus, it's gonna create even more momentum. So and then after that, also in April, we're going to Brazil at the end of April as a huge community to really integrate. By the way, Brazil was the first place that really cracked my heart open. So this was an anchoring for me that gave me a lot of insight. I needed to have the actual death face me. So literally experiencing death with huge waterfalls, big snakes, and the jungle to wake up my heart. So this is the intensity that was required of my experience that allowed me. So now I want to share that with people, because I do believe that not only the community there locally, also just like this kind of experience happened, they became my family, and they're excited for all of us to come there and meet them and spend time with them and get to know them. And this is also just amplifying in a meaningful way. And then at some point in the future, when we do, we will go to Ibiza to meet that end of the family as well. I just want to really acknowledge the experience that we're having in Edmonton, and as a result, also all of the people that are on the ground serving. And I believe that that's really integral to focus on really staying grounded, so that really we can create this beautiful healing space and healing center, healing facility that is anchored into what Brenda and I are calling Viva Balance. Yay! So yes, we're really excited to be part of this as a team, and that the family is continuing to grow. I really encourage and I really appreciate JJ and Brenda, if you guys from sharing from your heart, from such a deep place, and then being on this journey, because it's going to be a long one and it's going to be a fun one, and we're continuing to navigate to this place. I had a huge breakthrough here with my family yesterday. It was like a healing experience, and it was totally tremendous myself here. Um, and I'm very grateful for being able to, my little sisters here, her two boys, my brother-in-law, my parents. And so this is something so profound that's happening here, even like in my experience of life. And I find that the more that my anchoring and my presence is just there, and asking questions and being curious, even more people are going through their own experience and breaking through their own understandings. And I think that that's such an incredible experience of life, to take full responsibility, feel what it feels like to have done the best I can, and to also hope all know that prayers like, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, to really own that, because it's not about us. We can't take things personally. really need to be impeccable with our word, doing our best, not making assumptions, and always be listening. So these are some of the things that I'm very, very grateful for anchoring, so that we can really do even more, because it comes from that space of grace. So if there's anything else, Mart, Jacob, Christine, you'd like to add, please do so. And hopefully we'll see you soon at the next event.
We're coming.
I love you
So,
guys.
do you stay there for a week, or how long do you stay there?
Yeah, it'll be a week. So I'll
Perfect.
get you the dates. And we'll make it happen, my brother. I'm really grateful to hear that from you. It'll be nice to see you and Gina in person.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
that's
my
gonna be
nephew.
so. Yeah. Hello, nephew.
This is Nate.
Nate.
Say hi.
What's his name?
Nathan.
Nate. What are you doing, Nate?
You hear that noise? They're making that noise.
I love it, Jacob. So I'm curious if Christine or Mart, you have anything that you want to share just before we end?
No, it was good to see all of you.
Indeed, good to see all of you, and I'll incorporate something what we said previously before. We talked this call besides about the events and the experiences that were very worthwhile and enhancing because they were with great people. I think we all share at least a core principle of what we think the ideal or the future of our energy will look like. But the big question now is, what will be the path to get there? As Eric also shared, apparently nearby him, they are opening coal plants or looking for coal again. In other regions, for instance, here in the Netherlands, we're jumping off of natural gas, whilst natural gas is one of the most dense energy storage things that there is. So jumping from wood or coal to natural gas, amazing. There are, of course, always better opportunities, but it's the question of what is the most gracious, fastest way to get to the end goal. And there are many correct answers when looking at it. It's what will work for the people and what will provide us the quickest, best way forward. And the answers to that aren't obvious, and we can only know truly once it has passed.
I love it. I think what I would love, Mart, JJ, and Christine, is to introduce you guys to Denny, who is one of the engineers that is really focused on this major problem here in Alberta, and see how if he's interested in going deeper. I was advising him in the past of how we can integrate that, and I'd love to just make the effort of at least introducing and seeing what you guys think, because he's an incredible engineer with over 4 decades of experience here in Edmonton, Alberta. He's really involved with the energy sector, and I believe that he has he wants to solve problems. He just doesn't have the team with the mindset around him and the knowledge in terms of the energy, the people that want to focus on solutions because they're so conditioned into problems. So I'm gonna make that introduction. Maybe Christine, JJ, you guys can meet at some point, but I'm gonna create a group with you, with Mark, you, JJ, Christine, with Denis, so that you guys can start to actually fuse a conversation. Maybe at some point we can have a meeting, a deeper meeting, once he kind of feels the warmth of that group. We'll see what happens. No expectations. I'm just gonna make it happen.
Happy to share any thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
thank
super
you.
wise, and he's a guy that I was working with. I was advising him, and we were working on the Bitcoin mining and the energy sector and all these things. And so I think it would just be insightful, at least, if nothing else, that he's just aware of your
Mhm.
guys' wisdom, and from that place, something comes to life. So with that, I just want to finalize or finish off with a quick just grace prayer, if it's okay with everyone, on Sunday, a Sunday blessing. Uh, so I invite us all to take a breath in and close our eyes. Beloved Spirit, great teacher, thank you so much for this amazing, incredible family of light. May we continue to nurture and navigate together in this amazing playground you've offered us to create, to navigate, to co-create, so that we can leave this world behind better than when we found it. May we always know that it's our principles that guide us that will be the ones that define us, and that's what always keeps us connected to everything and attached to nothing. And as a result, we move towards meaningful action with grace, integrity, and curiosity. I love you all. I'm so grateful for you all, and I'm really honored to be on this journey all together. One thing that I've discovered or I've shared before, it's not about the journey, it's not about the destination, it's about the company. And I'm grateful to have company like this.
Good. Very true.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bless you all.
Thank you.
Talk
Bye.
soon.
That's
Yeah.
Peace.
Tomorrow.
Bye.